I'm really excited about this fight. I'm really, really excited about this fight, man. Amanda Lemos, number 11. She's a minus 360 favorite with the plus 280 comeback for Overkill Angela Hill, ranked number 12 in the women's strawweight division. Now, I get it, AJ. I get it. For all the reasons on paper, Amanda Lemos should win this fight. But I think that Angela Hill is going to make it a lot closer, if not get the job done in this fight. So that's an early reveal to my pick. But here's the reason why. So let's look at the last 3 fights for Amanda Lemos. Or actually, let's look at the last 2. We have Montserrat Ruiz, right, a very small 115er, and Lavina Souza, a very, very small 115er. Souza is no longer with the UFC, and Montserrat Ruiz, I think she only has 2 fights in the UFC anyways. She knocked them both out in the first round, man. Her boxing is wicked. Her straight shots are ridiculous. Power feels like it's on another level at 115 pounds. But those are 2 fighters who didn't necessarily maintain the skill set that an Angela Hill does, a master Muay Thai striker. Angela Hill, who hasn't had the opportunity to fight somebody who wants to pretty much keep it on the feet in her last 7 fights. She's fought wrestlers 7 fights in a row because that's how good of a Muay Thai striker Angela Hill is. They have to feed her that different complement and style. But then here's the other thing, man. If you go back a fight prior, so I think her name is Mizuki Inaui, so apologies for butchering the name. Lemos, she got the job done too, but she had to utilize some of her other skill set. What is that skill set? She's a really good grappler, dude. She's a really good grappler. However, ego sometimes doesn't allow us to use the things that we're best at. We want to maintain, I'm a better striker. Lemos is on a 2-fight knockout streak. She has 7 knockouts in her 10 wins. Well, guess what? If that's going to be a striking matchup, you're in for a long night with Angela Hill. So let's talk about it, brother. Because I saw the eyes open wide, does my explanation make sense for why the odds makers probably have it this way? Or do you think that this is skewed completely wrong? What do you think?
No, I expected Lemos to be the favorite, especially off of her streaks and off of how she's going, the way she fights, her style. I love her fighting style, man. Very snappy, crazy power for the 115-pound division, very accurate, very much one of those snipers that we like to see in the UFC. I was just not expecting a 360 to 280 dog for Angela Hill, man. That's kind of a little surprising. I was expecting a little bit closer, that 210 to maybe 110, somewhere around there. Interesting, though. I mean, Angela Hill, you cannot count her out at all. We've seen the resurgence. She's gone twice. This is her second stint in the UFC. She's finally getting the recognition she deserves. And what I like most about Angela Hill is her brain, man. The way she analyzes things, the way she breaks things down. She's very talented in there. It's just taken in the women's division. I mean, she's 13-10, almost a little bit above that 500 mark. It's just taken her a while, but she's finally getting the respect, man. Great pressure. Cannot doubt this girl. Improving ground game, but a very, very nice Muay Thai style striking. And that's what we're going to see, man. I'm excited for this kickboxing match. We might see some ground game going if one of them gets hurt or they decide, you know what, I'm going to take the quote-unquote easy path. I don't think it's going to be an easy path for either of them. I think both of their ground games are improving immensely, and we're going to be able to see some crazy Muay Thai coming, man.
I agree. I think Angela Hill is going to need to maintain a bully Muay Thai style if she wants to be victorious in this fight or have a good chance in this fight against Lemos. And the reason why is because when you let Lemos plant her feet, she has this Muay Thai stance too, but she has this wide stance, right? And she's just ready to just, right hand down the pipe, body kick. Everything is just like from a set motion though, right? So it's like you're in a set motion, everything power behind it, right? But when can't you do that? When someone's putting you on the back foot, making you move a lot, right? And I think a lot of these fighters have given her too much respect, right? You see Lemos backstep straight right down the pipe, right? You see her, when she gets bullied on, she starts winging hooks. So it goes from straight shots to hooks. And I think that's Angela Hill's best chance to get her close, get her in the clinch, and utilize her Muay Thai. Because Angela Hill has a nasty Thai plum, nasty knees out of the clinch, man, nasty elbows. Close range combat is Angela Hill's specialty. The thing we need to worry about is that she doesn't get too overzealous. I don't remember if it was the Yoder fight or if it was one of these other fights, but Angela Hill, she grabs a Thai plum. She goes up for the knee. In Muay Thai, you're supposed to do the switch knee, so you're basically like one foot is going to be off the ground and the other one is going to be momentarily off the ground. Well, she got basically tripped, swept, like as soon as she took that balance off, and that's what she's going to have to be careful for because Lemos can just hold her down for a round, I do believe. But then again, we've yet to see. I mean, not yet to see, but we still need to see that takedown defense that you're talking about of Angela Hill, right? Because she's been working a lot on her wrestling. She basically got smashed and controlled against Tisha Torres, who was a great wrestler, so that wasn't really promising to see. But against Ashley Yoder, got the big dub, so I think it was against Yoder when that knee sweep took place. Either way, man, Lemos has nasty teeps, brother, nasty teeps, and she likes to control the cage. I just don't know how much she's going to do that against Angela Hill. She is a powerhouse, lightning fast 1-2, but where does experience come into factor here, man? Angela Hill has 18 UFC fights. So she has more UFC fights than Amanda Lemos has fights in general. Angela Hill basically grew up in the UFC, 23 overall fights. I mean, listen, 18 in the UFC. Where does the experience come into play here?
I think it comes into play in the game plan, man, in that mental. And in that, what I'm talking about, I like most about Angela Hill. She sees what is Amanda Lemos' best at and knows not to do this, not to fall into the traps. Yeah. I want to push back a little bit on what you said about the fact that when Amanda Lemos is on her back foot, normally 100%, yes, I agree with you. If you're on your back foot, you don't have that same kind of power. But we saw in the, I believe it was the Conejo fight, Montserrat Ruiz, Conejo, whatever her last name is, that the fact that she was coming in on Amanda Lemos, and Amanda Lemos was literally just no power, literally just right out from the gut, I'm just messing up the words, clipped Montserrat right on the chin, and that was the start to the finish. I don't think you can be entering in too aggressively against Lemos because she has the accuracy to make you, punish you. But Angela Hill, that experience factor comes in there where she sees that and she goes, okay, I can't just A to B this girl. Yeah. I have to come in, throw that slip, throw those rolls, and then come in and then pressure her going forward and then put her on the back foot. Because if you're allowed to pressure her A to B and she has that quick right off the bat, that's when she's most dangerous. But after that one flies, then I can see Angela Hill using her experience to keep going that way. So very close, but still.
So let me just clarify on what I was saying, because I do agree that when she has that back step counter, that's when Lemos is still dangerous, but you could still stay planted there, right, when you just do that back step counter. But when someone is on you, and I'm talking about you're moving backwards, you're backpedaling, you don't have that pop, and she has to sit down on her shot. So I noticed this every single fight, especially the Mizuki fight. You saw it very clearly. Mizuki was a pressure in her, man, because she's a good grappler. So she's in her face, all that, right? And what does Amanda Lemos keep doing? The same combination time and time again. No straight uppercuts, none of that. It's this. Big hooks this way. And she just keeps winging them, but she has to plant her feet and then throw the big power shots. She's not I'm going to touch them up, and while I'm on the back foot, just not moving like that. Everything has to have that big power behind it. So I do agree with you absolutely. If she could do that one step back, it's kind of like the pull counter, right? So this typical pull back, boom, right over, come on. That's obviously going to be right there. Hill has to maintain that, but I think that if she could stay in her face and keep her moving on her back feet, I think it's just going to be tough for Amanda Lemos to do that same devastating style offensive approach that she does to these couple of other fighters. And let's be honest, AJ, this is how I just want to cap this one off. Let's be honest about this. Let's look at resumes, right? Notable wins for Amanda Lemos: Lavina Souza, Miranda Granger. Those are like the notable wins. For Angela Hill, you got Ashley Yoder twice, Loma Luke Boon Mi, Ariane Carson Alasi. But if we're talking about just experience in her last five, Tisha Torres, Ashley Yoder, Michelle Watterson, Claudia Gadelia, Loma Luke Boon Mi. Like, we're talking killers in the women's strawweight division. Lemos, she just hasn't had that competition yet. She is coming out of Jungle Fights, same promotion that Amanda Hebos is coming out of. But either way, experience, I think, is going to be the key factor here. So let's go, man. Who wins? Why? Over and under is 2.5 rounds. Where are we going? You go first.
I agree, man. I think the experience factor definitely lies with Angela Hill. She's seen it all, done it all. But, man, I'm rocking with Lemos on this one, man. I think it's going to be another flashy KO win for her. I think she's continuing her finishing streaks. And I'm going Amanda Lemos KO round 2. What was the over? What was the under?
The over is 2.5 rounds.
Okay, yeah, man. So I'm going with the under just barely, though. I'm going KO round 2, early KO round 2. Right in there for the under, Amanda Lemos. And it feels bad because I'm a huge Angela Hill fan. Right. I got to preface it before I say that. I love Overkill Hill. And if Overkill shows up, it's going to be a lot harder of a fight than I'm leading on. I'm rocking with Amanda Lemos, man. I think she just has the snappier, stronger striking, and if she catches Hill, it's going to be a rough outing. Who you going with and why?
So on paper, like I said earlier, I think Amanda Lemos has all of the intangibles, all the skill set to win this fight, especially if she just decides I'm going to make it boring and I'm just going to grapple and I'm just going to lay on Angela Hill for 3 rounds. I think that could be her best path to victory. But I'm going with Angela Hill because of the experience here. I think Amanda Lemos is the shiny new toy that we all like on the block. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, look at this person, but we forget about the people who have been made in the trenches, the people who have basically built the division, the people who have been in this division forever, has fought everybody. Angela Hill, man, she's never been knocked out in her 23 fight career. Never, not one time. She's been submitted twice. She's lost 8 decisions. She's won 8 decisions, but she's never been knocked out. And if I go down the hit list of people she's fought and none of them could knock her out, I have a hard time believing Amanda Lemos is just going to come in and just starch Angela Hill. I think that's what a lot of people are expecting too, honestly. I think they're expecting a Lemos to come in, land that 1-2, and it's just the end of the night. But I think Angela Hill in rounds 2 and 3 is going to take over round 1. I'm already putting it right now. If I could bet on who wins round 1, I say Amanda Lemos wins round 1. I'm giving rounds 2 and 3 to Angela Hill. I just think the intangibles, the experience is what gets it done. This is my long shot pick right here, though. Plus 280. I lied earlier. I said Henry Hunsucker was the biggest underdog. Angela Hill is actually the biggest underdog on the card, folks. So with that being said, you could pick my pick. You could pick AJ's pick. May the best man win. But I'm going live dog here. If there's anyone that can be a live dog, how could you not pick Angela Hill in this spot? I'm going Angela Hill, unanimous decision win, and I'm going over 2.5 rounds. So that's that for that one, AJ. That was an interesting one, though. I think this is a very intriguing matchup and has high stakes in this women's strawweight division.